Now chapter number 1, short note number 2, that is objective of cost accounting. Why the cost accounting is needed? We have seen cost accounting is not only collecting the data but analyzing in detail. So first, finding out the cost. When we talk about the cost, what exactly is to be added in it, what is to be excluded, everything we can understand with the help of cost accounting. Finding out the selling price and profitability. When our client says, as we have already prepared the cost sheets, when our client says my total cost is 50 lakh and I want profit of 20% on cost, so our selling price will be 50 lakh plus 20%, that is 60 lakh. Cost control. When we understand what exactly, how much exactly cost we have paid in last year, for next year we can prepare a budget and we can control the cost also. So for cost control, what are needed? Determination of predetermined standards, standard costing that we have learned, and budgetary control. Measurement of actual performance, then comparison of budgeted and actual performance, and analysis of variance and action. Why there is a difference, that we have to find out and taking the action. So cost accounting is useful for cost control also. That is the third use. Point number 4, cost reduction. Cost reduction is challenging the existing cost. When I budgeted that my cost should be 10 lakh rupees for this product, then challenging that budget and working on it and reducing the cost, that is called as cost reduction. So it's a real and permanent reduction in the cost, but without affecting the quality. Quality should also be maintained. For this purpose also cost accounting is required. Next use of cost accounting is assisting management in decision making. When management takes so many decisions, so obviously it needs the data, and that data is given by the cost accounting. So this was a short note on the concept or the question, what is the objective or use of cost accounting? So that was a short note. I'm taking a pause here and then I'll go for the next short note in the same video. Now, next short note is difference between cost control and cost reduction. As I said, controlling the cost means deciding a specific cost and following the same without thinking whether it is required or not. Once it is decided, it is decided. Cost reduction challenges the budget. It states why the cost should be 10 lakh rupees. Can't we reduce this cost? That is cost reduction. So cost control is maintaining the cost and cost reduction is challenging the standard cost. Cost control seeks to attain the lowest possible cost. Okay, this is the budget given and I have to follow it. Cost reduction, do not accept it. It challenges and it says we should reduce the cost. In cost control, the emphasis is on past and present. How much cost we have decided, how much cost we are paying. It is about present and future. If we are paying 10 lakh rupees today, how can you reduce it? That is cost reduction. Cost control is preventive in nature. So it makes sure that the cost is not increasing. Cost reduction is corrective in function, in nature. That means it will correct. If you are paying the extra cost, it will correct you and it will reduce the overall cost. Cost control ends when the target is achieved. Okay, the production is done within this much cost. Cost control is ended. Cost reduction has no visible end. Every time, every moment, we have to keep thinking when the cost reduction is possible. How can I reduce my overall cost? So it's a ongoing process. It never ends actually. So that was a difference between cost reduction and cost control. That can be a short note or a distinguished ask. Okay, now in the next short note, we are going through some basic concepts which are related with costing. Like costing. Costing is what, as we have already seen, technique and process of ascertaining the cost, simply preparing the cost sheet. Cost accounting. Accounting for cost, that means recording it at every proper level. Cost analysis. Analysis of the cost in detail. It involves the process of finding out the factors responsible for variance in actual cost and budgeted cost, that is standard costing. Cost comparison, finding out different alternatives and comparing their cost is cost comparison that we all generally do in marginal costing and decision making. Cost control we have already discussed, that is controlling the cost to the given budgeted level. Cost reports, preparing the functional reports and giving it to the management for decision making. Like the budgetary control, we have prepared different reports. Statutory compliances, sometimes the cost audit is compulsory. In that case, whatever data is asked, we have to prepare or we have to give all the details. That is called as statutory compliances. So these were different concepts and this can be a very short note on this topic. Now moving towards a new short note or a distinguish, we can say, what is the relationship between cost accounting and different types of knowledges or stream, like cost accounting and management accounting. Basically, management accounting is the use of the data by the management for taking good decisions. So costing, accounting, financial management, all the data comes to the management and then management takes the decision. It's called as management accounting. So cost accounting records quantitative aspect while management accounting record qualitative and quantitative. That means management accounting sees how many decisions were correct, why the decisions were not correct, what is the deviation in numbers, and what is qualitative reason of it, and all that. Cost accounting is recording cost of production, producing a product or giving the service. Management accounting is planning and coordination. So cost accounting is generally the past based data and management accounting sees towards the future. It deals with the cost ascertainment only, but management accounting deals with ascertaining the cost, analysis of cost, preparing the budgets, taxation, financial management, everything. Recording the data, it uses past and present figures as I discussed, as I explained. Management accounting record gets the data from past and prepare the plans for future. Development is related to the industrial revolution. Cost accounting was evolved when the industrial revolution was there. Management accounting, the development develops in accordance with the need of modern business world. As the competition is increasing, the management has become an extremely important factor. So for decision making, management accounting is evolved. Rules and regulation, it follows certain principles and procedures for recording the recording the data. There is no rules regulation. Management can use the data as per its need. There is no rule and regulation. So this was about cost accounting versus management accounting. A distinguish can be asked. Okay, so next short note we are talking about is financial accounting versus cost accounting. Financial accounting versus cost accounting we have already seen in the topic of reconciliation of FA and CA, that is financial accounting and cost accounting. Let's see what are the technical differences or connections are there. Financial accounting gives the data of performance, financial performance only, while cost accounting gives data of costing related area. Then financial accounting records present and interprets the transaction in monetary terms. Cost accounting classifies cost records presents and interpreted in significant manner. So accounting records the accounting data, while cost accounting record only costing data. Like we have seen, goodwill written off will be recorded in financial accounting but not in cost accounting. Cost accounting relates to historical data. Financial accounting and cost accounting also relates to historical data, but on that basis it calculate the rates and predict for future, what we call it as predetermined rates. Then users of information, financial accounting is used by shareholders, creditors, investors, then future investors, employees, everyone. Cost accounting is basically used by management, generally of no use for external people. Analysis of cost and profit, it gives GP, NP, financial accounting. Cost accounting is useful for variety of things like finding the cost of a product, finding cost of each process separately and all that. Financial statement is prepared for 1 year. There is no time limit for costing. It can be quarterly, yearly, half yearly, whenever it is required. Presentation, there is a format given about the trading P&L balance sheet by the Companies Act for company, but some standard format for others also. There is no specific format given. It can change according to the index. So this was all about financial accounting and cost accounting. This can also be asked as a short note or a distinguish. Short note on financial accounting, short note on cost accounting, or distinguish between both. And talking about the financial management, it covers everything. It includes financial accounting, it includes management accounting, it includes cost accounting. The mixture of all this and all these informations is used by the financial management. So that's why financial management covers all these three segments. This can be a very short question asked. Okay. Now the next short note can be, who are the users of cost and management accounting? Costing data can be used by internal as well as external users. Let's see who are the internal users. Mainly the managers for taking all the decisions, whether the cost of product is going high or it is going low or it is abnormally very high. Then operational level staff, they need it for their area only. For example, workers will need only the wages data for analyzing what is their contribution, whether they should go for the additional bonus, etc. or not. And supervisors, foreman, to make sure that all the costs are done properly. So operational level staff like supervisor, foreman, team leaders, to make sure that cost is properly controlled, employees relating to their own area. Now external users regular, but many times the data is not available for others like employees, but depends. External users, regulatory authorities like the departments may need that you should maintain all the cost data. Then auditors will come. Shareholders may need it, but of course, many times shareholders don't need all this data. They are highly interested in their profit and earning per share. Creditors and lenders hardly sometimes they need it, but again they look for their financial data only. But this can be the users of your cost accounting data. This can be a short note asked in the exam. Okay, so the next short note is essential of a good cost accounting system. If you, let's assume you joined a company in which you wish to implement a good costing system, then what kind of basic ingredients needed? For example, when you prepare one product, let's say something menu, then there must be some ingredients, there must be some qualities required of that product to win the master chef competition, for example. On the same lines, if you wish to have a cost accounting system in your organization or client's organization, which qualities that cost accounting system should maintain? Let's see. Informative and simple. It must be informative and it must be simple to go. So all the data must be covered and it should be simple to operate for everyone. Accurate and authentic. The data included in cost sheet must be accurate and it must be authentic. It should not be just prediction. Uniformity and consistency. The data, the cost sheet, the technique, whatever we are using should be same every year. It should be uniform. Integrated and inclusive. All the things must be properly added to it. For example, when we call it as a master budget, it means it includes the production budget, sales budget, then purchase budget. Everything is added in that. So it should be integrated. Flexible and adaptive. The system should be flexible. If we get some suggestions, it should be easy to adjust and adopt. Trust on the system. The costing system must create its own trust so that others will believe that the data available is perfectly available from the costing, and the costing department should have faith in the overall system. Whatever data comes to the costing department should also be faithful and accurate. So these are the basic things which you should have, you should take care when you are implementing a new costing system. That can be a short note asked. Okay, so the next question can be asked, that is, what are the factors you will analyze while installing the costing system? If you are a cost system implementer in the organization, you will ask some questions to the owner or the management, like, first you should analyze objective, why the costing system is implemented. Is it to find out the selling price of each product, or is it to find the cost of each process separately, or is it to analyze the actual versus predicted differences? So you should be able to understand the objective behind implementing this system first. The second factor you must analyze is nature of business or industry. What exactly is the nature of that business? For example, if it is manufacturing in different processes, then you should apply process costing. If it is service sector, then you should go for operating costing. So nature of business must be seen. Organizational hierarchy, that means who is the MD, who is supporting or who is the subordinate to him, how many subordinates are there. So that hierarchy, that chain is called as management hierarchy. You should see that so that you'll have to implement a costing system properly. If the hierarchy is bigger, the costing system will be a little bit complicated. Knowing the product, you should understand what exactly the product is. When you are implementing a new system, you must analyze the product in detail, whether it is manufactured in different processes, is there any byproduct. Every detail of the product must be known. Then only you can implement an ideal costing system in that organization. So knowing the product is important. The next factor you should know about, knowing the production process, how exactly it goes, what is the how many number of processes are there, how the product passes through the different production lines. Information synchronization, then how the information of one process goes to the next one. So all the related data must be synchronized. Synchronized means it must be collected at one point. You should have that system. Method of maintenance of cost records, then finally how the cost accounting record will be maintained, who will be responsible, all the details. Then interconnections and all that. Statutory compliances and audit, whether whatever we are preparing is as per the statutory audit or not. Is there any format given by cost audit report rules and all that, we'll have to check. And information attributes, that means which kind of informations are given, and whatever information you are getting must have some qualities, like it should be complete, it should be accurate, it should be timeliness, it should be in time, and it must be relevant data also. Once this data is available, then a complete ERP or MIS system can be prepared. So these are the things needed when you are implementing a new costing system in any organization. That these are the things we should check. So this can be a very good short note to be asked. Now, the next short note can be what is the use of information technology in cost accounting. Of course, it is extremely important. It becomes very easy to connect the data. It becomes very easy to connect all the departments, all the processes all together at one point. So that is why IT is very important for costing. That is, after the introduction of ERPs, different functional activities gets integrated, different processes, even sub processes like different functions like purchase, manufacturing, material consumption, wages, everything can be integrated properly. Then paperless environment can be created. Everything is available on system. You don't need to take even a single printout. If the proper costing system is implemented, then with the help of internet, it is helping in resource procurement and mobilization. So I can set the standards. I can set the automatic alarms, like whenever the stock comes down to this level, automatically the order will be shooted to our supplier. When the goods comes in, then automatically quality control check department will be informed about it. So everything can be done with the help of internet and computer systems. Cost information for cost center and cost object can be calculated accurately for every cost center. What is cost center? That is coming in the next short note. Cost center means anything for which the cost is calculated. Let's say one machine, machine one, machine two, or maybe a whole machine department can be a cost center. So accuracy is obviously increased. Then uniformity is achieved. Everyone will follow the same system. So same data will be available. Same pattern of data will be available. Then variance analysis is easy now. You can immediately find out the reasons also when you are having a proper system with computers. It enables an entity to monitor and analyze each process of manufacturing service closely to eliminate the non-value added activities. So detailed analysis is possible with the help of computers. So that is why computers, internet systems have worked a lot, and it is helping a lot to the cost accounting system. This can be a good short note. Now the next short note can be the comparison of cost unit, cost object, cost unit, and third one is cost driver. Now cost object is something for which you calculate the cost. For example, if it's a class, then we can calculate a cost branch wise. If it's a let's say automotive products line or your company, then it can find the cost of each product separately, or maybe each process separately. So for whatever you prepare, a cost sheet is called as cost object. Cost sheet for a machine, cost sheet for a taxi, cost sheet for one production department, cost sheet for one process, that becomes cost object. Cost sheet for what is cost object. Cost unit, how do you express the cost? That is cost unit. For example, milk is expressed in terms of liter, right? Then maybe iron is expressed in terms of kg or tons, like this. So whatever your client is manufacturing, how it is expressed per unit, per meter, per kg, per ton is called as cost unit. So in automobile, the cost unit is number. How many number of vehicles? Cement, it is per ton or per cement bag. Chemicals, it is per liter, per gallon, per kilometer. Power, per kilowatt hour. Steel, per ton. Transportation, per passenger kilometer. Traveling, transportation ideally per ton kilometer. Traveling, per passenger kilometer. Gas, per cubic feet. So these are different. Then brewing, per barrel. Brick making, per 1000 bricks. Coal mining, per ton, then or per ton. Electricity, kilowatt hour, we have seen. Engineering, per contract, per job. If engineering means, let's say, fabrication work, then per contract, per job. Oil, per barrel, per ton or per liter. Hotel can be per room, or if it is catering, per meal. Professional services, per chargeable hour, per job, per contract. Education, per course, per student, or per successful student, per hour also be available. Hospitals, per patient or per room day, as we have seen. So these kind of things are called as cost unit. And what is cost driver? Something which drives the cost, something due to which the cost increases. For example, the purchasing cost will increase due to more and more number of purchase orders. So purchase order is a cost driver for purchasing activity. Then packing cost will increase with more and more sales order. So sales order is a cost driver for packing expenses, like this, right? So cost object is something for which cost is calculated. Cost unit is something in which way the cost is expressed. And The cost driver is something due to which the cost increases. So this can be a very good short note asked in exam. Now the next short note can be centers. That means responsibility centers. How will you fix the responsibility? So in every organization, you can divide the centers based on different things. You can have a cost centers, you can have a profit center, you can have investment centers, and like that. Let's see what is that. With the growth of organization, its function, organization structure, and other related functions are also growing in terms of complexity. To have a better control on organization, management delegates its responsibility and authority to various departments. These departments or persons are called as responsibility center. So the performance of my purchase manager will depend on the performance of his department, that is purchase department. That purchase department becomes one responsibility center. Sales manager will be analyzed on the basis of the performance of sales department. So sales department is a responsibility center. So different types of responsibility centers are there, basically four types. First is cost center. Cost center means a specific division for which I'm paying the cost. It can be a standard cost center or discretionary, that is additional. For example, the production departments are standard cost center where we can find the standard cost and we can apply it and we can analyze. Discretionary cost centers are generally the service centers or generally the centers in which the production activity is not done. You cannot find out how much production, how much sales they have generated. Like our security department can be a cost center, our advocate department can be a cost center, and like that. That is discretionary cost center. So cost center is basically the center or a part of the department or organization for which the cost is calculated. Revenue center, it is generally the revenue generating departments. For example, my two-wheeler segment is my revenue generating center. My four-wheeler segment, three-wheeler segment are all revenue centers for let's say Bajaj. So revenue centers from which you expect some revenue. Profit center, now here it is not only about revenue but about profit. Then I will set the standard. My two-wheeler segment must give me 50 cr profit this year. So that is profit center. So when a revenue center is given a target to achieve specific profit, then it's a profit center. And last is investment center. That means we are not getting any return directly, but you have to invest, like capital expenditure. So whenever capital expenditure is made, that becomes one center, and we have to check how exactly the return investment is received on investment center. So these four types of cost centers can be there. That means cost responsibility centers can be there: cost center, revenue center, profit center, and investment center. So this is one good short note to be asked. Now, the next one can be, what are the limitations of cost accounting? General limitations are there. It is expensive, of course. And basically, even if it is not expensive, it feels to be expensive because it is not compulsory. So we have to appoint one cost accountant, then he will implement one software or purchase one software. Then we need some assistant to be given to him. And why? For costing department, which is not made compulsory by government. So that means it seems to be expensive, but of course, some additional cost is required. Requirement of reconciliation: when I have accounts and costing departments separate, then I need to go for reconciliation. So duplication of work, that means repetition of work happens. And inefficiency, because costing system is not required by any act, so it is just useful for internal management, so may lead to inefficiency in some time. Maybe the cost accountant may be free for 3-4 months a year. It may also happen. So these are some few limitations of cost accounting, but it is extremely required for every organization. Now, the next short note is based on how to classify the cost which we pay. And there are 6 different plans to classify this cost. Let's start one by one. First is, and every one heading can be a one short note. By nature or element of cost. So why you are paying that cost? So element wise, it can be material cost, wages cost, and other expense like indirect expenses. Material can be direct material or indirect material. Direct material means which is actually used in production. Indirect material is supporting to the production, like machine oil is not actually used in production, but it is required. Employee can also be direct and indirect, as we know. Accountant, salesman, supervisor, they are all indirect employees or labor costs. Other expenses, direct expense like royalty paid. Indirect expenses are factory overhead, office overhead, and selling overhead. So when we make the total of all the indirect, when you come to the indirect, called as overheads, as we discussed. So element wise, it can be material, direct and indirect. labor direct and indirect, and expenses direct and indirect. So this is about the first part element wise. Second comes function wise. Function means just imagine the cost sheet: direct material, direct wages, direct expenses, prime cost, production overhead, admin overhead, selling overhead, distribution overhead, R&D, etc. So everything is different function. Material consumption is a function. Employee handling employees HR, that is a function. Production overhead is another function. Sales is another function. Accounting is another function. R&D is one function. So for every function, different heading is given called as classification of cost function wise, so that we can decide which function is required and which is not. Then depending on third part, variability or behavior, this is of basically two, total three. Fixed cost, which is fixed in total, and per unit it comes down when the production increases. Variable cost per unit always constant. When the production increases, in total it increases proportionately. If the production reduces, proportionately variable cost also increases. And semi variable cost, it is like this: total semi variable cost, to some extent it is constant, then it goes up, again constant, and goes up. So these are three types on the basis of variability or behavior of cost. Now for semi-variable cost, there are different methods, as we know. If two or different levels are given, high-low method is there, or change in cost upon change in units, we call it as. So there are different methods which are not so relevant here. Then comes controllability. On the basis of controllability, there are two types of cost. One is controllable cost, which you can control, which you can reduce by reducing your production, is also called as variable cost. And second is uncontrollable cost. In any situation, you'll have to pay it. That is called as fixed cost. Fixed cost is uncontrollable cost. You cannot control by reducing your production. So fifth base is normal versus abnormal. That is normality of the cost. When you pay the cost which was expected is normal cost, which is charged to a specific job. But if it is abnormal cost, then it is transferred to costing P&L account. You can't do anything. For example, generally we use our own machine and we make the manufacturing, but suddenly the machine went down, it was broke down. So we have to get this job done from the other person, and he charged 3 times extra. Is abnormal cost. It will go to costing P&L, because client will not pay you that amount. It was your problem. So that was about normality. And sixth base is by cost for managerial decision making. That is predetermined cost, which is predicted on the basis of last year. We find the rate. Standard cost, when predicted rate is multiplied by units. For example, in last year, machine hours were 5 lakh and cost of electricity was 15 lakh. So rupees 3 per hour is predetermined cost. This year, you work for 4 lakh hours, 4 lakh into 3, 12 lakh was expected or allowed cost, standard cost. As we already seen in standard costing. Marginal cost is nothing but the variable cost. Estimated cost is the estimate made for future without using any base, just a general estimation. Differential cost means when the decision changes, then some additional cost is to be paid. That is called as differential cost. For example, when a person was paying the rent 10,000, but now as he has increased some number of chairs in his hotel, now he has to pay 2,000 extra. That is 12,000 is the rent, because he's using the external space and the owner want 2,000 more. That 2,000 is a differential cost. Imputed or notional cost means which are not actually paid, but which are considered for decision making. For example, if I'm conducting coaching classes from my own house, then if I would have given this on rent to the other person, I would have earned, let's say, 60,000 per annum. So that is something which I'm losing, is imputed cost, notional cost, never recorded in the books, but compared in decision making. Capitalized cost means one-time cost, big cost. Product cost means it is related to a specific product. When the product is running, you have to pay it, otherwise not. For example, royalty. You agreed to pay royalty for a specific cup you manufacture. If you stop that production, you don't need to pay it. Opportunity cost is the cost of opportunity forgone. When I invested 10 lakh rupees in machine, instead of that, if I would have invested it in FD, I would have returned 10% return interest. That is 1 lakh opportunity cost. Out of pocket cost means actual cash outflow, whatever you pay, which is not notional, which is actual cost. Rent actually paid is out of pocket cost. Shutdown cost, that is, even if you shut down your production temporarily, let's say due to COVID situation, for these 4 or 5 months the production was closed, but still the rent was to be paid, maybe 50%, 60%, but rent had to be paid. So whatever amount you have to pay, even if the production is not in process, is called as shutdown cost. Next is sunk cost. Sunk cost is the cost which is already paid and now there is no option or already incurred. For example, if I made a review, if I wish to enter in a new city, and if I made some review and survey is done, now whatever is the result of survey, if I come to the conclusion that no, I don't want to start my classes in this city, still I have to pay the amount to the survey organization which was hired by me. That is sunk cost. In any decision, you have to pay that cost, is sunk cost. Absolute cost means any cost which is taken in total. When you calculate the statement or you prepare a cost sheet, we find the total cost, that is absolute cost. Discretionary cost, which are not actually compulsory, but which are paid indirectly, which are on your decision. You can decide to reduce this cost, you can save this cost, like generally advertisement cost or generally donations given. These are all discretionary costs, which depends on you. Period cost, some costs are there which do not depend on product but depend on the time. So even if you manufacture the product or don't manufacture, you have to pay that cost and called as fixed cost. So fixed cost are period cost. 1 month is over, you have to pay the rent, that is period cost. Engineered cost, that is actually manufacturing cost. These are called as the clear cost, also specifically related to production. We simply call it as direct cost. Explicit cost, again, which are paid in cash. It can be direct and indirect, everything which is paid in cash. Implicit notional cost, we have already seen, never recorded in the books but used for decision making only. So this is we cannot call it as a short note, it's a long note, but any concept can be asked from this part also, so important. Now, shifting to the next short note, that is methods of costing. Methods in the sense how to find out the cost. There can be different method for every type of business. For example, if it's a fabrication work, then you can go for a job costing. If the production is done in different processes, then you will go for process costing. If you are getting you are getting a job for more than one financial year, then it is called as contract costing. So, what are different types of techniques used? So if you are manufacturing single product, unique product, like the cars manufactured by DC, Dilip Chabria, then single or output costing. If you manufacturing batches like the printing business where you have to manufacture minimum 1000 units, then batch costing. Job costing for the regular jobs but with some changes. Contract costing for a job having more than one financial year or taking more than one financial year for completion. Process costing for the company which manufactures in processes. Operating costing for the client who is involved in the service sector. And multiple costing can be combination of all the above, depends on the nature of that business. So some examples are given here. For example, if your manufacturing is in series of processes, then process costing, for example, sugar. Sometimes they ask it in fill in the blanks, or maybe sometimes unexpected, but yes, sometimes they go for match the pairs also. Sugar, which type of industry process. Then real estate construction, that is contract costing. Then cold drinks, unit or output or single costing. Hospitals, no doubt about it, operating costing. Service sector, advertisement, job costing, because every advertisement can be different. Car assembly can be multiple costing because combination of different processes are there. So such kind of things are called as methods of costing. And what are the techniques of costing? Methods are applicable to a specific type of business. Technique is applicable to everyone. For example, marginal costing can be used by the operating costing person also, or a manufacturer that is using the process costing also. So these are called as techniques of costing, which are common for all types of business. First is uniform costing, where it's a dream concept basically, where it is assumed that everyone in the same industry, every firm in the same industry will apply the same costing technique, and then the data will be comparable. Means all the cement manufacturing industries will apply the same costing system. It is really very good because it will help you to make the comparisons, that is called as inter-firm comparison. You can find your weak and strong points, but there are some limitations, like why a big multinational cement manufacturing company will share its data with others. So that's why it's a dream concept. But uniform costing means using same costing technique in all the organization, all the firms of the same industry. Marginal costing, as we know, is based on the variable cost. So use the variable cost for decision making, and it can be used by any type of organization. Standard costing, decide the standard and compare it with actuals, find variance. Historical costing means ascertainment of cost after they have been incurred. When you pay the cost, then calculate the cost. That is called as historical. Means don't make any prediction. Just let the cost go and ultimately make the total. No predictions. Absorption costing is variable cost plus fixed cost, everything. So these are all the techniques which can be used by any type of business. So they are called as techniques. And whatever is specifically for a particular business is called as the method of costing. So method specifically for any business, technique is a tool applicable to every type of business. So in this way, we have come up to the end of this topic. This was the first chapter of costing. We can call it as the basics of costing. And that is why it has taken a lot of time, introduction to cost and management accounting. But it is worth, because many times the short notes are asked from this topic. So it's a very good topic to go for. Go through all the short notes. Try writing any short note if you wish to go for. Write the short notes 1, 2, 3, 4 bullet point wise, and nothing more is required to be done. I hope you'll enjoy the short notes and study hard and get full marks in. Thank you.